Next question. How can being a part of the mastermind group help me with challenges of running an SEO agency? Well, because you can bounce ideas off other SEO agencies that have likely been through similar experiences and figured out how to resolve it. You get training, you get SOPs, depending on the mastermind, but you can get in our mastermind. I'd spend a lot of time developing SOPs and I share them with the group so that, again, you can modify the SOPs for your own specific needs, but now you have the framework. Any of you that don't have SOPs in your business, could you just imagine going through this like kind of process and building SOPs for all the activities that you do in your business? I do that. Okay. And then I share them with the group. And yes, they're built around what I do in my agency, but now you have the framework that you can then modify to fit your specific use cases instead of having to start from scratch. Why reinvent the wheel? Right? Well, you don't have to. Join a mastermind, you shortcut your learning curve. Well, it depends on the mastermind, right? But in our mastermind, that's what my goal is to help shortcut the learning curve. But I say all that. I provide all these SOPs. I provide the training on a weekly basis. And yet I still see all the time in audits from even our own members that just completely ignore everything I say. And that's fine. It's fine. As long as they're paying, I don't care. You can join the group and listen and show up to the webinars for entertainment purposes. That's fine. But if you want better results, implement what I'm sharing. And don't just believe me, test. That's, again, going back to what I'm saying about testing, guys. Test, 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 right? Don't believe anything that any one person says. Test. I show you results, but I'm telling very clearly, disclaiming up front, right up front. I can give you the framework, but you're going to have to play around with those configurations in your particular industry to figure out what's going to work best. And in the mastermind, by the way, you can ask for guidance and support about those particular projects, because I don't mind taking one of our members' projects as long as they okay that I do it in a training session with the entire group. I will provide specific recommendations on how to apply this framework to that industry. And then again, I will disclaim right up front, because I don't work in that industry, here's the framework. This is what I would recommend, but it's going to require some testing and trial and error on your part to dial it in. Okay. But that's what I'm there for. It's part of the mastermind group, is to provide coaching and support when it's requested. We have a lot of members in our group that don't ever ask any damn questions, and I don't understand that either, but that's fine. Whatever. But join a mastermind group, because again, it puts you in a peer group with like-minded individuals that have probably been through many of the same struggles that you would be going through and have found solutions. And also it's just a way to shortcut everything. You can try to do it all on your own, or you can take the easy route, which is to associate yourself around other people that have already done it. Right. And then it will, there's always going to be trial and error for everything that you do in business, for sure. But you can avoid a lot of the mistakes that many of us make. Hopefully that's clear. I've never been in any SEO group that had SOPs like this, guys. If I would have, it would have made a lot easier for me in my own business. So I learned how to develop them on my own, because I needed it. I needed to be able to scale. If you don't have systems in your business, how do you scale? It's always you doing the work. How do you delegate it? Right. And again, how do you get repeatable consistency out of your projects if you don't have a duplicatable process that you apply to every project? That's why I love this SOP format in Flowster, guys, because like here, I'll just show you, for example, if we go in here and take a look at right here, you can see, let me give you a better example for one that I've been doing for so for example, in the DHA program right now, the first phase one group that are in with me now, one of the things that we're doing is setting up sub accounts in or Semantic Mastery's high level accounts called Local Leads app, that we set up high level accounts for our members. So we set up an agency sub account, which becomes the master or agency sub account. And then there's client sub accounts, which each LLG or local lead gen site has its own separate sub account. And we go out and build lead gen assets that then we use to pitch or point to in our marketing and our pitch, our sales presentation, to contractors or companies in that specific area. Because we can point to them and say, look, we've already got assets that are ranking for your products and your services in your area that are outranking you. And this is what I can do for you. And by the way, if you sign up with us, then we will add this or apply this site to your project. So in other words, they basically get lead gen assets included in the retainer. Hopefully that's clear. It's part of what we're teaching, or what I'm teaching, because it's a great way to make a sale, because you can already point to results in their area for their products and services that you can immediately apply to them when they become a retainer client. Does that make sense? And by the way, none of this has anything to do with GBPs. that you need. You just have to optimize their GBP, but it's a real business. So you can re-verify it, reinstate it, whatever, if it gets suspended. Hopefully that's clear. None of this is about going out and building spam GBPs, guys. But why I bring this up here specifically is because here's an example of, you can see, guys, every single project that when I go to do something, and my team does the same way. I will deploy a workflow or create a workflow from our from the SOP. And then that workflow we work through the workflow and check off the items as they're completed. So there's consistency in our products and services, guys, because every single service is deployed in the exact same manner. Do you understand? And we go through each one of these. And then, so for example, this is an overview. Once it's done, check it off. Okay. There's a field down here that needs to be checked off. Then I can check it off over here. Then I go into data sources, right? After this module has been worked through and completed, check it off. Check it off. Then you go to the next module. Guys, that's consistency, right? Because now we know that every project that we complete has been done to the same level of quality, because we went through a checklist, step by step, and we checked off the boxes as we completed it. If we have to leave the project and for a couple of days, a week, whatever, we can come back and pick right back up where we left off, and there's no gaps. I know a lot of you, I used to do it myself, think, oh, I know everything that needs to be done up here. Oh, I promise you, you're taking shortcuts, you're missing things, etc. Maybe not intentionally, but I promise you, if you don't have a checklist that you follow every single time, or repeatable process, you're missing things. You're not doing things. Again, might be on accident, but there are things that you aren't doing that you would normally do because you think it's all up here. But we all do a lot of stuff, guys. So get organized, systematize your business, build processes, follow the process. But wait a minute. If you build a process, first of all, what are you going to build the process on or around, right? If you don't know what you did to get results for this one client, because you've got 18 clients in 18 different industries, and you do a different mix of things for each one of them, and you have hit or miss results for every client, then you don't know what to build the processes around, which is, again, why I keep telling everybody, go to one industry and start really focusing on one industry so that you can start testing all these things and dialing in what works for one industry. And when you nail it, you scale it, right? You nail it, create an SOP, and then you scale it through delegation, automation, etc. If that's clear. And guys, I tell you all this through experience. I've been doing local SEO for 15 years, and it's only been about the last 3 or 4 years that I've really kind of dialed in or narrowed in on this. And my income shows it, because I make considerably more money now than I did at any other time in my career. And it's not, I'm not here to brag about that. It's because I've developed systems and processes, guys, and I implement them. I'm very adamant about that in my organization. If I find that any of my team members are not following the process, then I immediately reprimand them and point to the specific part in the SOP that they didn't do and say, follow the SOP. I'll give somebody a maximum of 2 warnings and then they're fired. That's it. Because when I have full SOPs like this, where all they have to do is step by step, check shit off. If they miss something, then that's on them. That's not me. That's on them. They're responsible. So I'll give everybody a couple of chances. But after 2 chances, if I have to tell you a 3rd time, you're fired. And that's because we have developed repeatable processes. So I've been able to scale and duplicate myself through delegation. I don't automate very much, to be honest. I build SOPs and then delegate through personnel. I hire people, and then I have a human actually executing what I've developed in an SOP. And then I've got somebody's neck to choke if they're not doing it properly. It's kind of hard to choke an app's neck, but I can choke a team member's neck, right? And I can yell at them. An app won't listen to me when I yell at them. So hopefully that makes sense. And no, I don't usually yell at my VAs. Sometimes I do, but only if it's really warranted. So anyways, like I said, guys, going back to how does a MasterMind help an SEO agency? It can shortcut the learning curve considerably if it's a good mastermind. Sometimes they're just discussion groups, but even that can be helpful. Okay, even that can be very helpful.